Burden.
Okay. Can you move to the first page, sir? The PowerPoint is sitting on COVID. Yeah. There we go.
On your cue, Ms. Burden.
Okay. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PSJ Southwest Parent Meeting in the virtual platform. Today, I am being joined by our principal, Mr. Marquez, one of our counselors, Ms. Fabiola Garcia, and our parent educator, Ms. Juanita Mercado. We will be covering 3 different topics today. We'll be looking at student success in remote learning, talk about you, the parent, and how to get involved and how that supports your child in our school. And also our counselor, Ms. Garcia, will be talking about how to deal with some of the difficult issues that are arising, like anxiety during the pandemic. I'm going to turn it over now to our principal, Mr. Ranulfo Marquez, for his address.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Burton. Good morning, parents and students. Welcome to our monthly parent meeting. I am Ranulfo Marquez, the principal at PSJA Southwest Early College High School. It's my pleasure to welcome you here today, and the purpose of these meetings is communication with our parents and students, just to keep those lines open so that we can understand what's going on at the schools, what challenges we face, and to let you know how we can support each other in the education of our students, your children. The key word there is communication. So important to have that partnership between home and school so that we can overcome any obstacles and provide any support that's needed for our students. The most important, of course, being after health and safety, the education of our students, the academic achievement. We know that our teachers and our students are working very hard to work under these conditions of the pandemic. I have to commend all of our parents and students and teachers for the work that you are doing, learning remotely. I know that our teachers, for example, are also parents. So in addition to taking care of their own children and getting them set up to learn remotely from home and supporting them, obviously they're also doing their primary job and teaching your children from home remotely. And the expectations are the same for us. We expect to provide the best education possible for our students. And so it's very important that we communicate and provide support to our parents and to our teachers and our students so that this is accomplished. Obviously, for academic achievement to occur, one of the key issues is student attendance. And we know that that is a challenge because we understand that these are difficult times. And as parents, many of us have multiple children of different ages, different grade levels. And we understand that many of our parents work, and it's difficult for many of you to stay home and guide your children as they're learning remotely. So we understand and respect that. We understand that many of our students in high school also care for their siblings, their younger brothers and sisters. And so it presents all kinds of challenges, but we're here to talk about those things and to support you. And, we can say that attendance is mandatory and it's crucial because it is. We can't learn if we're not in the classroom, but we can offer different ways for students to learn remotely or in person. And, that goes back to our synchronous and asynchronous schedules. But whether students are logging in real time or logging in later in the evening and doing the work after hours, either way is fine, but it is really important that students continue to do the work, continue to log on daily, because that attendance is required. And the ideal situation, of course, is for every student to log in real time and interact with their teacher and classmates during their regular class schedule. Having said that, we understand that because of special situations, some students are not able to log in real time. And so we're here to talk about some of the ways that we can support our kids, support our students, communicate with our teachers, and not only for academic issues, but also for social, emotional issues. We understand that one of the challenges that this pandemic presents is dealing with anxiety and stress, sometimes depression, from being isolated for such a long period of time. So hopefully we can relay some good information to you all as parents and students, and we'll definitely take some feedback and questions at the end. But once again, I just want to reiterate that we're here to support you. We're here to provide the best education possible to your children, our students, and we're always here should you need any type of questions answered or any type of support. We'll finish with some communication information, including links that can be found on our webpage if you wanted to get a hold of a principal or a counselor or a teacher. Thank you so much for your attendance today. I hope you enjoy our meeting. Thank you. Back to you, Mrs. Burton.
Thank you, Mr. Marquez. Can you please go back to the previous slide, Mr. Whitelaw? As Mr. Marquez mentioned, that we're very focused on ensuring your student success, your child's success. So he did talk about synchronous attendance. It's really, really essential that your child is attending school on a daily basis. And we do understand there are different situations, of course, but this is an unprecedented time. And we really want to make sure that they're having those connections, because we do know this pandemic is going to end. So they're going to need to prepare for the future with their studies, number one. And number two, it is an isolating experience to be in quarantine this long. But with that connection with their fellow students and their teachers, they're getting that social outlet as well, and that structure. Additionally, we really want them to keep up on their homework and their learning. So the teachers are reasonable in how much they are providing to the students. However, it is important that the students keep up on their work as much as possible. Okay, next slide. Okay, there's a couple of things that we just want on your radar. These are your testing dates. First of all, we will have TELPAS. It will begin February the 22nd and go till April the 11th. That exam is given to our students whose first language is Spanish. And we will have writing and also the online portion, exactly as it happens every year. STAAR Alt for our special education students will begin in March, and then April 23rd. English 1 will be on April the 6th, and English 2 on April the 7th. Algebra 1, Biology, and U.S. History will be on May the 3rd through the 6th, and these will be offered in the online platform. However, there will be paper options. We do have some benchmarks because we want to make sure that the students are getting ready for these exams. So next week, we do have a benchmark for TELPAS, and that will be all delivered virtually February the 1st, in February we have an English 1 and English 2 benchmark, and then we will be having our benchmarks for algebra and U.S. history and biology in March. Finally, for our AP students, we have the AP exams on May 3rd, beginning May the 3rd. Can you please switch the page, sir? Okay, I'm going to turn it over, I'm sorry, this is me still. This is about communication. So it is very important that you're communicating with, the teachers of your students, and just having that open dialogue with them. We do have their email addresses that you can reach out to them. You can also contact the school, and we are more than ready to assist. I'm going to now turn it over to Ms. Mercado, and she can continue. Go back one slide, please, sir.
morning. Good morning, parents. Good morning, parents. Welcome. My name is Ms. Mercado, parent educator here at Southwest. And like Mr. had mentioned, is to everything. Parental department, we have opportunities, and we invite all parents to join us at the parent centers here on Cesar Garcia, inviting you to assist with citizenship classes, classes. Now we have several parents and PSJA district. Now, whichever is closest to you, we do invite you to log in and find out all the classes that are being offered. And like I said, like Mr. Marquez said, the importance of communication. Now need information on in regards to the grades, the attendance, the
Ms. Burden, go ahead and take over for her if you can.
I believe we're having some technical issues with Ms. Mercado. That is a reality during the time of online. It happens even with major news networks. So I'm just going to reiterate some of the information here. First of all, it's just a reminder that communication is key. There are many, many parental involvement opportunities out there for you. So this really is the perfect time, even though it's a little difficult, we can get involved, and there are plenty of opportunities to better ourselves. There's lots of courses and activities offered for you, the parent, as a benefit as parents within the PSJA district. So if you go onto our website, you can find out that information. The other thing is our home access center. It's very important, and you can be using that to communicate with getting updates from your child's school. I know a lot of you work while your children are at home, so you can get grade updates and attendance updates in real time on your phone through the Home Access Center. Can you please change the page, sir? Okay, now I'm going to turn it over to one of our wonderful counselors, Ms. Fabiola Garcia. She's going to be talking about something that I think is very relevant and a lot of us are dealing with, and that is anxiety during the COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, Ms. Fabiola Garcia, take it away.
Good morning, parents and students. I'm so glad you could join us today. Thank you for being here and having having the willingness to have an open ear and maybe learn a little bit more about dealing with anxiety during COVID-19. I think we can go to the next slide, Mr. Whitelaw. So COVID-19. It's unbelievable how we're almost close to a year into this, and so we think it's really important to review with everyone that COVID-19 has caused so much stress and anxiety. Many schools are still dealing with. We're still dealing with a lot of the issues related to COVID. We're still having our students with a lot of anxiety. They're still reaching out to us, asking for assistance. A lot of our students are stressed, but at this point, we're seeing that a lot of students have adapted into a new norm that we're trying to kind of catch beforehand. They may be worried, especially if they already have an anxiety disorder. Even more, that is something that we need to watch out for. Fortunately, there are things we can do to help our kids cope, but first, as parents and caregivers, it's our job to ease that sense of stress and anxiety in our children. Can you go to the next slide? So here we're going to review 5 tips to help ease COVID stress and anxiety. Step 1, make sure we get the facts. Step 2, establish a routine. Step 3, engage in self-care, stay connected. Step 4, and step 5, focus on the positive. So 5 little things we can intentionally do to reduce stress and anxiety in ourselves and in our children and our household members. Mr. Whitelaw, can you? So the first thing to do is to make sure that we have the correct information, or that we're getting factual information. There's a lot of ways for us nowadays to get information on the internet, on different news sites and so forth, but we really recommend that we are looking at facts coming from, for example, reputable sources like the National Institute of Health, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, or the CDC, and definitely the American Academy of Pediatrics. One other way is definitely trust that our school district and school districts in general are putting out information that is factual and that is coming from these reputable sources as well, and definitely information that is more pertaining to our community and our school districts. Also, check out your doctor's website. Most doctors nowadays, they'll have a Facebook. I know my children's pediatrician, he goes live on Facebook very frequently, just kind of informing his patients and his parents on his side, what his knowledge is on his side. So there's a lot of that. So definitely make sure you are searching out information that is factual and that is coming from a reputable source. Mr. Whitelaw? The next thing, and I'm sure a lot of us have already gotten into a routine because it's been so many months, but I think at this point it's really important we're in the second semester of the school year. We've got about 19 weeks, 18 weeks left of school. And so it's good to revisit establishing a routine, going to sleep at a time where your child is going to, or putting your child to sleep at a time when they're going to get an adequate amount of sleep to be able to function, to do well and be successful in their classes. Definitely getting some good sustenance, eating healthy, definitely putting on regular work clothing or regular clothing a student would wear to school on a regular basis, and not just wearing those pajamas day in and day out, just to help establish that routine that we are going to school between 8:30 and 4:10 and so forth. I think that's definitely very helpful. And also, sometimes, I mean, your child may have been working at a certain area of the home, a change in area of the home, maybe revisiting whether that's working for them. If it is, then great. If the area they're working in is not working for them for whatever reason, revisit that and come up with a different place for them to be able to work throughout the day. And definitely the idea of having lunch together, what a blessing that is to be able to, if you're home with your children working from home, and to be able to sit down and have lunch every day together, what a blessing that is. But a routine as well that will be helpful. Mr. Whitelaw? Step 3 is to engage in self-care, and one of the things here is to be intentional about self-care, getting enough sleep, eat healthy, engage in physical exercise, move your body. During times of anxiety, it's really important to take care of ourselves. And one thing we can do is model that for our children, and then provide opportunities for our children to do that themselves. You know, take them to ride a bike, take them to do some walking and so forth. And definitely when the older kids, encourage them to get their body moving at a certain time during the day, to kind of bring up those endorphins that help them manage that anxiety and stress. You may want to think about the types of activities that relax your child when they experience stressful events. What do you do to relieve fears at the beginning of a school year, for example? Once again, we're at the beginning of the second semester. Let's be intentional about what our kids are needing this time around to finish off the year on a good note and be successful. And definitely think about working them into your family routine. Again, being intentional about them. And I think this is Miss Salinas. I will hand it over to Miss Salinas.
You can continue, Ms. Garcia.
Okay. All right. Step 4, another tip to help your children, yourselves, members of your household, to reduce stress and anxiety is to stay connected. Definitely. I'm pretty sure that most of us have had a Zoom meeting. We've all done the Zoom birthday parties because we cannot, or we're choosing to social distance, so we're choosing to stay connected in other forms. So definitely, again, seek out ways where your child can stay connected virtually, virtual play dates, virtual book clubs. Let friends play a game or eat together at the same time while they're doing that virtually. Go on a neighborhood webpage and let kids shop online for groceries for an for an elderly neighbor, or just set up regular times for your children to talk with their friends on the phone with limits, of course. And of course, the same holds for adults. Meet virtually with business groups, families, or friends regularly. Don't let physical distancing keep you away from your social support networks. I think that's very important. The social support networks, keep those going. This is a time when we are super connected. We already were before the pandemic, and now even more so. It's just a matter of realizing that when we feel we've lost something, we can always regroup and realize I still have a way to reach out to people. It's just virtual, even more so now. Mr. Whitelaw. Step 5, definitely focus on the positives. Children with anxiety often perceive threatening situations to be more of a danger than they really are. And so it takes longer for their body's stress response to turn off. As a parent, we can calm kids by letting them know that even though there's still much to learn about COVID-19, it's up to us, the adults, to figure it out, and they don't need to worry. This is definitely for our younger kids. I'm getting notes from my 7-year-old that I'm afraid of the virus, Mom. And so I can feel that stress and anxiety in her. And so I come in and do that talk with her, where I have to model the fact that we don't need to worry as long as we're taking care of doing what we need to do as far as social distancing. I'm trying to stay positive on my end, and definitely talking about all the things others are doing together to help each other and stay healthy. They definitely see the people being socially distant, people masking up, people not going out of their way to not take care of themselves. It's a conversation you may need to have many times over in the coming days, but one of the best ways to reduce anxiety is simply to make time to talk. Especially now with a lot of people working from home and At the end of the day, when everything's over, when the virtual learning is over, we want to just run away from it all. And so if we're intentional about tackling it, then I think we can make an impact on our kids. Mr. Whitehouse? Anxiety and stress activity. This might be helpful. To create something or to imagine something of this sort is definitely very helpful. You write your anxious worries and thoughts in the jar to get them off your mind, and decide on a designated time when you will reach into them and tackle them emotionally in your mind. And so from 8:30 to 4:10, I am not thinking about all of these things that give me anxiety and stress, and I can think about them at 6 o'clock. We can go over all of these things together as a family and so forth. So that is a really neat activity to incorporate into family time some days out of the week, so that you can glean from your kid what is worrying them, what is stressing them, and talking about those issues. Mr. Whitelaw? And lastly, here we have resources. So we have the CDC. We have a lot of reputable resources where you can reach out to. Remember, I spoke earlier about having the facts, having factual information. And so we have here mental health support line. Please reach out to us as counselors. Reach out to us with anything you might have a question on. Have your child reach out to us if they want to, and we're here to assist in any which way we can. Are there any questions? Thank you.
If there are no further questions, I would like to encourage everyone to keep the lines of communication open and refer to our webpage. I don't know, Mr. Whitelaw, if you can project it, but to refer to our webpage, Southwest High School. And you can find all the contact information for administration, teachers, and counselors. All right, do we have any questions at all from parents out there?
No questions so far.
Okay. If there are no questions, in about 3 minutes, we will begin the Spanish version of this meeting.